Welcome back everybody. Today we are doing a full body mat Pilates class. I just recommend you grab a pair of socks for a couple of the exercises, especially if you're on wooden floorboards or a smooth surface like tiles. All right, let's get started. So we're just going to start laying on your back in a neutral spine and stretch out your hamstrings. We need these lengthened for today's workout. So draw in your T-zone and then extend one leg up. Keeping the hips nice and square and your tailbone on the mat. We're just going to gently draw that leg towards you, stretching the back of the leg. So keep that T-zone tight, keep your shoulders relaxing back and down and chin tucked in. You're just going to lengthen the back of the legs. Good. Inhale T-zone, exhale, see if you can stretch just a little bit further. Just remembering when you're stretching, you're not forcing the muscle, you're just relaxing into the stretch. Beautiful. And swap sides. So see if you can keep those hips nice and square and the tailbone on the mat. You don't want your tailbone tucking up and off the mat. You want to keep that back in neutral. Shoulders pulling back and down, chin tucked in. Inhale T-zone, exhale, see if you can stretch into it a little further. Beautiful. All right, laying on your back, we're just going to connect with your core. So you can place your hands on your belly or your hips. You're just going to take a nice deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Let the belly fall, T-zone tight. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Let the belly fall and draw in your T-zone once more. Beautiful. And if you don't know what I mean by your T-zone, please refer to my Pilates basics video, which will be linked below. Okay, laying still in a neutral spine with your hands out to the side. We're going to draw one leg up into tabletop and then extend it out. And then bring it back to tabletop and then place the foot back on the ground. So keep that T-zone tight. Inhale, leg in tabletop. Exhale, extend the leg out. Inhale to bring it back to tabletop. Exhale to place the foot back on the ground, swapping legs. Beautiful. So remember to keep your T-zone tight, hips stay nice and still, and the back stays in neutral. So you don't want to let the back arch, especially as the leg goes out. You want to really keep that neutral spine and T-zone tight, rib to hip connection. Lovely. Keep it going. Shoulders should be relaxed, back and down, chin tucked in. Now, if you want to make these harder, you can extend the leg out further and lower, really lengthening through the legs, stretching through the toes. If you want to make it easier, you don't have to lengthen or lower the leg as low. So you're going to come up higher and not out as far. Lovely. We're just warming up the core. Don't worry, it's going to get harder. Beautiful. All right. Keeping one foot on the ground, you're extending one leg up to the sky, turning the toe out so your inner thigh is facing you. Inhale T-zone. Exhale, you're going to lower the leg slightly. Inhale, circle out and around. Good. So the aim here is to really keep the T-zone tight and hips stable so they're not rocking side to side. So exhale to lower the leg. Inhale to circle it around back to that starting position. Remember to really lengthen through the leg, stretch out through the leg, keep it nice and straight, toes are pointed. Good. Remember not to arch your back, so keep the rib to hip connection, keep the T-zone tight. If you want to make it harder, you can make bigger circles, no problems. Again, as long as you're keeping the form, keep the rib to hip connection, keep the T-zone tight. Lovely. We got one more. Working the core and inner thighs. Really good. And lower the legs, swapping sides. Extend that leg, turn the foot out. Inhale T-zone, exhale, lower the leg. Inhale, circle it out and around. Beautiful. Really lengthening through the leg, keeping the T-zone tight, rib to hip connection. Shoulders relaxing back and down. Really good. A few to go. So please note, don't work through any pain or discomfort today. You want to be working the muscles. If you're feeling any pain or discomfort in your back, neck, hips, or any joints, please stop, reset your form, listen to my cues. If you're still feeling discomfort, please stop that exercise, come back to an easier one, or just rest and join us when you're ready. All right, and they are done. Well done. Okay, here's your chance to put on your socks and slide down to the end of your mat. So you're popping on your socks and then feet hip width distance apart, and then laying at the base of your mat. All right, so inhale T-zone. Our back is in neutral, feet hip width distance apart. Hands are above your chest and facing, the palms are facing towards each other, shoulders pulling back and down. Inhale T-zone. Exhale, you're going to slide those legs out as far as you can, maintaining that neutral spine so the back is not arching. And then bring the legs back in. Inhale. So keep going. Exhale to slide the legs out as far as you can without the back moving out of that neutral spine position. Good. Keep these going. Good. Really focusing on keeping everything nice and still. If you want to make it harder, you can go out further, really lengthening as far as you can. Again, only if your back is not arching. Beautiful. All right, next we're going to do arm preparation. So the arms are going to lower over your head, keeping your shoulders back and down, and again, keeping that neutral spine. So you don't want the back to be arching as the arms go up, not doing this. So keep the rib to hip connection, keep those core muscles working super strong. Good. To make it harder, you can lower it over further, just keeping those shoulders back and down and keeping the rib to hip connection. Lovely. Exhale to lower. Inhale to draw it back in. Can we add those two together? So inhale T-zone. Exhale, you're going to slide the legs out as the arms go overhead. And then inhale to bring it back in. Nice. Make the movement nice and smooth. Good. Really firing up the core and lengthening through the limbs. Can you feel your core working? So good. I'm digging a hole in the ground. Hopefully you got nice smooth floorboards. Makes it nice and smooth and good to do this exercise. Good, one more. Excellent. Are you ready to add on? All right, this time we're squeezing the knees and the feet together. So arms above your chest, shoulders pulling back and down. Palms are now facing towards your knees. All right, so this time we're going to imprint the spine and squeeze the legs and the knees together. Inhale T-zone. Exhale, you're going to slide the limbs out. Inhale, draw them back in. Exhale, curl the body up, hands sweep past your hips, keeping the tailbone on the mat, shoulders pulling back and down, squeezing the legs together. Inhale to come back to that starting position. Exhale, slide it out. Inhale, bring it back in. Exhale, curl the body up, extend the legs to the sky. Inhale, back to the starting position. Really keeping the imprinted spine, rib to hip connection so you're not arching the back. Beautiful. Now really keep the tailbone on the mat. And you're not rounding the bottom up off the mat. Good, really drawing in your T-zone. Keep that belly nice and flat. Scoop the T-zone. Good, really lengthening through your limbs. But if you are double jointed, keep the limbs, the elbows and the knees nice and soft. Shoulders pulling back and down. Good. Have you got 3 more in you? Remember, like I always remind you, take the rest whenever you need today. Just a 2, 3, 5 second rest can really help you reset your form and come back stronger with perfect technique. And they are done. Well done. All right, we're going to add on and just do hundreds. So Gonna start in your imprinted spine with your legs in tabletop, legs squeezed together. We're gonna curl the body up and just extend the legs to the sky, coming back to that starting position. Exhale to curl the body up. Inhale to come back to that starting position. Exhale. Inhale. Good. Are you feeling your core? Exhale. Really scoop the belly. Keep the rib to hip connection. And remember, your tabletop position is 90 degrees at the knees and hips. So the knees should be directly above your hips. Shins should be parallel. Really lengthening through the limbs, scooping the T-zone, keeping your shoulders back and down. Good. We got 5. Excellent. 4. Keep curling it up as high as you can. 3. Getting the ribs to hips. Getting the shoulder blades off the ground. 2. Last one. Well done. Let's hug those knees. You're doing amazing. You can give your lower back or your back a little massage by rocking side to side gently. Lovely. You can now take off your socks. All right, coming back to the middle of your mat. Let's imprint your spine and bring your legs into tabletop, this time with your feet and knees hip width distance apart. We're going into toe taps, continuing on with your abs. So inhale T-zone, exhale tap one foot out. Now it's really important to keep the rib to hip connection so you're not arching through your back. And remember, keeping the same angle at the knee. Exhale to tap, inhale to bring it back to the tabletop position. Exhale to tap, inhale to bring it back. Good, you can have your hands out to the side, palms facing up, shoulders pulling back and down. Or if you like to feel and get some feedback, just popping your hands on your hips. You can feel you're keeping that imprinted spine and you're not arching through the lower back and flaring the ribs. Really good. So if you want to make this easier, you can tap a little closer, no problems, keeping the same angle at the knee. If you want to make it harder, you can increase the angle at the knee slightly and tap out a tiny bit further. Just remember, keeping that same distance at the knee, the movement is coming from your hips. Lovely. If you want to add on, we're going to squeeze those legs together and then go into your double toe tap. So the same thing, exhale to lower, inhale to bring it back. Again, making sure your back is not arching, the ribs are not flaring. You want to keep that imprinted spine and rib to hip connection so the core has to work super hard. We don't want this going into your lower back. Really good. Remember, you can stay with your single toe taps, no problems at all. Really good. We don't have many to go. Are you smiling? I hope you are. We have 3. Shoulders relaxing back and down. 2, we want the core doing all the work. We don't want the upper body helping. And well done, hug those knees. Okay, we're going into your pendulum for a little bit of rotation. So keeping those legs in tabletop, squeezing them together still. This time with your arms out to the side. I like the palms facing up to help with the shoulders pulling back and down. Now it's really important to keep the rib to hip connection so you're not arching through your back with this one. So inhale T-zone and lower the legs out to the side. So one glute comes off the mat, keeping those legs pinned together and shoulders on the mat. Using your core, exhale to draw yourself back to that starting position. Inhale to lower over to the side. Exhale to come back. You're only going as far as you can maintain that imprinted spine and keeping the shoulders on the mat. Really focusing on using your core here, not your arms. Use your core to rotate you back to the starting position. Really good. Using that breath to really keep the core strong. So good. If you want to add on with me, we're going to go over to the side and then extend the top leg and then keep that extension until you come back to the center. Inhale. And then exhale, extend the leg, and then draw that position, that shape back to the center. Inhale. Exhale, extend, point to the toe, lengthen through the leg. Beautiful. Shoulders pulling back and down, really focusing on using your core here. So good. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Good. If you want to make it easier, you don't rotate over as far. You can obviously stay with that first pendulum with just the legs pinned in tabletop. If you want to make it harder, you can go over further. But again, as long as you're keeping the rib to hip connection, shoulders both pinned on the mat, and you're keeping the form, and they are done. Well done. Hug out those knees. Okay, we are popping both feet on the mat and going into some glute work now. So feet hip width distance apart and not too far out. You want them close, so we're activating your glutes. All right, shoulders pulling back and down, chin tucked in. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, squeeze your glutes, tuck your tailbone under, and roll your hips up off the mat, one vertebra at a time, to come into your bridge position. So you want to aim to get a straight line from your shoulders to your knees. We want to keep the rib to hip connection so you're not arching through the back. Really engaging the core, wrapping these core muscles in. Inhale at the top. Exhale, we're going to roll it back down one vertebra at a time. Good. Keep that going. Inhale. Exhale to roll it up. Pushing through the heels, squeezing your glutes. Inhale at the top. Exhale to roll it back down. Good. Getting beautiful articulation through your spine. Tucking and rolling. Squeezing those glutes. Remember, you want your toes and your feet as well as your knees in the same direction. So you don't want the toes winging out and the knees winging out. Keep the toes and knees nice and parallel. Good. Really pushing through the heels, squeezing your glutes, and coming as high as you can, again without arching the back. And you should not feel any tension through your lower back. If you are, maybe come a little bit lower. Otherwise, you're coming as high as you can, keeping that rib to hip connection, glutes working nice and hard. Now, you might feel a stretch down the front of the leg. That is perfect. Beautiful. We have one to go. Pushing through the heels, squeezing those glutes. All right, we're going to hold the next one up. So roll it all the way up again and hold at the top. Continuing on with your glutes, keep the ribs to hips nice and strong. We're going to exhale, open the knees slightly, inhale, drawing it back in. Exhale to open, inhale to draw it back in. You should start to feel those glutes really fire now. Good. Holding this position, really keeping the hips up nice and high, keeping the rib to hip connection nice and strong, shoulders pulling back and down. The opening is not very wide, so it's only a small opening. Good. Exhale to open. Inhale to draw it back in. Are you feeling your glutes? I am. Good. We have 3. We have 2. We have 1. You're not going anywhere. Hold this position. We're going to lower the hips just ever so slightly and then squeeze them up. Lower and squeeze. Tiny little pulses at the top. Feel those glutes work. Push through the heels. Let's get strong glutes today. Good. Keep the rib to hip connection. You got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's roll it back down one vertebra at a time. Well done. Hug out those knees. Beautiful. And gently rolling it up. Okay, we are going on to some clams on the elbows. So we want the elbow under the shoulder, and then we're drawing a nice straight line from the shoulders, hips, and feet. Remember, shoulders are pulling back and down, chin is tucked in. Now we are doing our clams with our feet up. So we want to squeeze those heels together and lift those feet. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, squeeze the heels together Squeeze the glutes and open those legs. Now remember, in this position, we want a nice long spine. So we want to lift this lower side so both sides of the waist are even and we have a nice neutral spine. So let's go. Inhale, T-zone, exhale, open. Inhale to lower back down. Keep squeezing those shoulders back and down. Keep the chin tucked in. Exhale to open. Inhale to lower with control. Nice and smooth. Good. Really firing up these outer glutes. Good. Squeezing the heels together. Squeezing the glutes. Good. Now, if you have any tension or discomfort being in this position up on the shoulders, make sure your shoulders are pulling back and down. You're pushing the ground away. You're not sagging. Make sure your chin is tucked in. If you're still feeling discomfort, you can lay all the way down with your head resting on your arm. Again, stacking the hips, keeping nice neutral spine so there's a gap between the waist and the floor, and you continue on from there. No problems at all. Otherwise, you're up on the elbow. Elbow is under the shoulder. And shoulders are pulling back and down. Okay, are you ready to add on? Inhale to open. Exhale to extend the leg in line with the rest of the body. Knees faces forward. Inhale to come back, heels together. Exhale to lower. Keep those heels lifted. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Remember to extend the leg no lower than hip height and in line with the rest of the body. But if you want to make it harder, you are going to lift the leg higher and further back. But again, keep the rib to hip connection. You don't want to be arching through your lower back. And you want to keep that form so the hips are not rocking all over the place. You want to keep those shoulders pulling back and down and T-zone tight. Really good. We have 3 more. Good. Remember, keep that neutral spine. You don't want the back to be arching or the bottom to tuck under. Keep those shoulders pulling back and down. You're really working those shoulder stability muscles now. We have 1 more. And they are done. Lower the legs to the floor. All right, we're all going to lay down and pop your head on the arm, stacking the hips. Remember, a nice straight line still from the hand to the feet. All right, we're going to extend that top leg out, keeping the hips stacked. Let's bring that leg forward in line, basically with the bottom thigh. And we're going to lower the toes towards the ground, foot relaxed. Inhale, T-zone, and lower the leg. Exhale to lift and squeeze the glute. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Good. Really keep the hips stacked. You can use this top hand to push the hips away. Keep the T-zone tight. We're really firing up through this outer glute. If you're feeling it too much down the front of the leg, now you can bring the leg further back and continue on. Also, if you're still feeling it through the front of the leg, I would just recommend coming back to some more clams to really strengthen up these outer glutes. Otherwise, we're not here for long. Really squeezing this glute. Good. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. You have 2. You have 1. And bring it back in. Well done. Okay, we're going into your 90-degree position, keeping the hips stacked. Beautiful. Inhale, T-zone, exhale. We're just going to lift that top leg in line with the bottom leg and then lower. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Just keeping that position, the same position. The knee and the feet lift at the same time. Make it harder. You can lift higher, but again, without the hips rocking back. So you want to keep the hips stacked and the spine in that same position. Good. We're not here for long. 4. Shoulders pulling back and down, chin tucked in. 3, 2, and 1. And lower. Well done. Now staying 90 degrees with that top leg, we're going to extend the bottom leg out in line with the rest of the body. Inhale, T-zone, keep the gap between the waist and the floor. Exhale to lift the lower leg and then inhale to lower. So we're working the inner thighs of that bottom leg. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. Nothing moves but that lower leg. Good. Good. Keep the knee tracking straight. You want to turn it up or turn it down. You want to keep that leg nice and square to the front. Shoulders are pulling back and down, chin tucked in. Good. You can lift it higher as long as the hips are not rocking. Good. Are you feeling that inner thigh? Let's hold the next ones up at the top. We're going to just do tiny little pulses at the top half. Good. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower, or if you're going a little bit faster, you can just inhale for a few reps and exhale for a few reps. No problem. Keep that T-zone tight. Scoop the T-zone, scoop the belly. Good. Shoulders relaxing. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and lower. Well done. Were you feeling those inner thighs? I definitely were. All right, coming up, we're doing your side planks. Now, we're going to all start with your kneeling side planks. So we want the knees stacked. We want your hands in line basically with your knee. You may need to adjust the position, no problems. We want the hand pretty close. You don't want it too far out because we want the hand to be under the shoulder when we're lifting up and the shoulders to be pulling back and down. Keep your body nice and square to the front of the room or the mat. All right, your hand can be resting on your leg, no problems. Okay, inhale T-zone, and then we're going to exhale, lift, push through the knees and lift the body up into that side plank position. Shoulders really need to be pulling back and down here. We don't want to be hunching. Make sure the hand is under your shoulders. Now, this is our first position. We're all starting in this position today. Just keep lifting through the spine, the core, so you're not sagging. We want a nice straight line from the crown of the head to the knees. Keep the ribs to hips so you're not arching through the back. Keep the shoulders pulling back and down. Beautiful. Working through the core here. We got 3, we got 2, we got 1, and lower. Well done. Now, as you know, there's a lot of tension that goes through that arm when you're doing that exercise, so you can stay in that position, no problems. But if you're up for the next challenge, we are doing it on your feet. So one foot in front of the other. The top foot is in front of the bottom leg, and the same thing. Square to the front of the mat, hands under shoulders. We're now going to be pushing up on your feet, but make sure your T-zone is tight, shoulders are pulling back and down. All right, inhale, T-zone, exhale, lift up, push through the feet this time, and coming into your toe plank if you choose. So now a nice straight line from your feet to your head, shoulders pulling back and down, chin tucked in. Really good. Keep the spine nice and long, no sagging. Keep the shoulders pulling back and down. Good. If you're on the knees, fantastic. We will build you up, no problems. Otherwise, you got 5. Keep the core on. 4, 3, 2, and lowering back down. Well done. All right, coming into a deserved stretch. 1 foot and the inside leg against the thigh. Gonna draw this out, inside arm up. And then we're gonna stretch on over, mermaid stretch. Feeling a nice stretch down the side of the body. Really lengthening through that top arm. Really good. Inhale to come up. Exhale to go over. Good. Once more. Inhale to come up and lengthen. Exhale to come over. Excellent. We've got to do that all on the other side. So let's swap sides. We're doing your clams on your elbows. Good. So again, elbow under shoulders, shoulders pulling back and down. Stack the hips, nice long neutral spine. Squeeze the heels together. Inhale T-zone, exhale, you're going to squeeze the glutes and open that knee. Inhale to lower, exhale to open, inhale to lower, exhale. Good. Are you feeling these outer glutes? If you're not, maybe lower the legs to the ground and continue on, no problems. Or you can even lay all the way down on your mat. This helps with your glute activation. Otherwise, exhale to open, inhale to lower, exhale, inhale. Shoulders pulling back and down. Are your hips stacked? You're not sagging. Good. Are you ready to add on? So this time, inhale to open. Exhale to extend that top leg. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Excellent work. Inhale, exhale to lengthen in line with the rest of the body, and higher and further back to make it harder. Good. Shoulders pulling back and down, really lengthen the spine. We have 3. Good. We have 2. We have 1. Are you feeling those outer glutes? Well done, and lower. Let's come all the way down, laying with your head resting on your arm. We are going into your straight leg raise. So bringing that leg up, drawing it forward in line with that bottom thigh, lowering the toes towards the ground, relaxed foot. Hips are stacked, gap between the waist and the floor. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Keeping that T-zone tight, core tight, and that neutral spine. Good. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Really firing up these outer glutes. Good. Remember, if you're struggling to feel the glutes or the hips are a bit tight and irritated, you can bring the leg further back. Good. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Good. Really keeping the hips stacked. We don't want the hips to be rocking all over the place. You may want to use that top hand to push the hips away and check there's a gap between the waist and the floor. Shoulders relaxing back and down. We have 2 more. We have 1 more. And bring it back in. Well done. Were you feeling the glutes? This time our legs are 90 degrees. Again, hips are stacked. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, you're going to lift that top leg in line with the bottom. And then inhale to lower. Good. Keeping the T-zone tight. Keeping the hips stacked. Gap between the waist and the floor. Shoulders pulling back and down. Good. Good. Keep scooping the belly. Are you feeling those glutes? I definitely am. You got 3. Nice and controlled. 2. Remember, take the rest whenever you need today. We want to keep form over anything else. And 1. Well done. And we're going to extend that bottom leg out to do your inner thighs. All right. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, you're going to lift the bottom leg. And then inhale to lower. Good. Takes a while for these ones to kick in. Good. Keeping the beautiful neutral spine. Hips stay stacked. Good. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Is your knee facing forward? Are your hips staying stacked? T-zone. Is it tight? Ribs to hips so you're not arching through your lower back. Are you smiling? Let's hold this next one at the top half. We're doing little pulses. Good. Keep that leg in line with the rest of the body. Don't let it creep forward. Good. So you can breathe naturally for a few. Inhale for a few lifts. Exhale for a few. Or if you're going slow, you can just exhale as you lift. Inhale as you lower. Good. You got 3, 2, and 1. Well done. All right. Coming up into your side plank. Remember, we're all starting off in your knee plank. So hand comes forward in line with the knees. Knees are stacked, hand on the foot. Shoulders are pulling back and down. Really important. Keep the shoulders pulling back and down. Chin tucked in. These thighs. All right, inhale, T-zone. Exhale, you're going to push through the knees and lift up. Arm comes long up towards the sky. So we have a nice straight line through your arms and a nice straight line through your spine. Just remember your hand should be under your shoulder. Good. Shoulders are pulling back and down, chin tucked in, head in line with the rest of the spine. Good. Really keep the rib to hip connection so you're not arching through the back. Keep the T-zone tight. Breathe. Good. Keep scooping the belly. Keep the shoulders pulling back and down. We have 3. We have 2. We have 1. And then we are lowering. Beautiful work. If you're adding on with me, that top leg comes forward. The feet are flexed, so we have a nice ground, nice stable position. Top leg is forward. Shoulders are pulling back and down. We're nice and square to the mat. All right, inhale, T-zone, exhale. We're gonna push through the feet this time and lift on up. Shoulders pulling back and down, chin is tucked in. Nice long neutral spine, rib to hip connection. T-zone is tight. Make sure your head is in line with the rest of the body. It's not sagging. Lift, and then lift this lower waist, keeping that core super strong. So good, feet are flexed. Nice grip onto the ground. Shoulders pulling back and down, working those shoulder stability muscles. We have 5, we have 4, 3, 2, and lower, and 1. So good, amazing. All right, this foot comes onto the thigh, sitting up nice and tall on your sit bones. Nice long neutral spine. Inhale, T-zone, exhale, lift that arm up. Inhale, T-zone, exhale, go on over. Good, feeling a nice stretch down the side of the body. Keep that arm nice and long. Good. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, go over. And again, inhale, exhale. Excellent work. All right, moving on. We're doing some leg work. So we're doing the hinge, which works your thighs and your core. You may want to roll up your mat 2 or 3 times to support your knees. I'm definitely okay on the sand. All right, so knees are hip width distance apart. You can have your toes flat or tucked under. It's really important here to keep the rib to hip connection, core super strong. You want to keep that nice neutral spine, nice strong core. So we're doing your hinge, hands out in front. Feet can stay flat to make it harder, or toes are up. Inhale, T-zone, and inhale, we're going to lean back like a falling tree. Exhale to come back to that starting position. So you can feel that core has to work super strong to keep in that neutral spine. Inhale to lean back, exhale to come forward. Remember to keep the shoulders pulling back and down. Inhale, exhale. Good. You should be only feeling this through your core and your thighs. Really good. Inhale, exhale. Make sure you're not arching through the back. You need to really keep those core muscles strong. Good. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale. We only have 3 to go. Good, shoulders pulling back and down, chin tucked in. Last one. Well done. What are you feeling those? Okay, we're going to step one leg up and come on into standing. All right, so we're going to stand at the bottom of your mat. We're going into your Pilates roll down, and then we're going to add on. So first, we are just doing your Pilates roll down. So standing up super tall, stack your hips, shoulders, and head above your feet. Nice long neutral spine, T-zone tight. Just taking a breath here. Inhale through the nose, exhale, let it go out through the mouth. And again, inhale through the nose, exhale, let it go out through the mouth. Good. All right, inhale, T-zone, exhale. You're going to tuck the chin in. We're going to imagine we're peeling ourselves off an imaginary wall. So one vertebra at a time, just slowly peeling yourself. Knees can stay soft. Good, so it's the upper spine, the mid spine, the lower spine, letting the arms hang towards the mat, coming all the way down, keeping the T-zone tight. And now we're just going to hang here for a moment. So knees can be soft. You may feel a stretch down the back of the leg. Lovely, just taking a moment here, stretching out the legs. Lovely. Okay, inhale T-zone, and we're just going to roll it up one vertebra at a time, peeling yourself back onto that imaginary wall. So tuck the tailbone, ribs to hips, and then peeling your lower spine, mid spine, upper spine until you're up nice and tall. All right, we're going to do this again, and then we're going to walk it out to a plank position. So tucking the chin, rolling it down, one vertebra at a time, keeping that T-zone scooped. So good, soft knees. Hanging all the way down. You can take a moment here if you like. Feels good, doesn't it? Soft bend through the knees, and then we're going to walk it out until you get to your high plank position. Lovely. Lock in that core. We want a nice straight line from the crown of the head to the feet. We don't want any sagging. We don't want the lower back sagging, the upper back. We want to lift. Keep the rib to hip connection, lift. Now, if this is too much, you can lower your knees to the ground, no problems. Otherwise, you are up on your feet. Beautiful. Now, from here, we are going to step one knee in to a knee hover. So the knees are just hovering off the mat. Remember, your hands are under your shoulders, knees under your hips. Now we're going to step that same foot back to a high plank position. Beautiful. Keep the rib to hip connection. Now we're going to step the other leg back into a knee hover. Good. And then step it back into your high plank position. Bringing that knee back in, hover. And then back out to your high plank position. Really good. Last time, knee hover. And lower those knees to the ground. Well done. Sending your hips back into a prayer stretch. Lengthening out through those arms. Sitting your bottom onto your heels. And just letting your body relax down towards the mat. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, let it go. Keep the chin tucked in. Shoulders pulling back and down. Beautiful. All right. Coming back to your quadruped position. All right, from here, we're going into your bird dog. So again, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Try to keep most of the weight through your knees. Shoulders pulling back and down, and lift that spine. Now we're going to extend one leg out and extend the opposite arm out. Keeping that neutral spine position. So again, no sagging, lift, ribs to hips. And then we're going to lower the hands and knee back to the mat, swapping sides. Exhale to extend without arching the back. Keep the rib to hip connection. Inhale to lower, swapping sides. Keep lifting the spine. Keep squeezing your shoulders back and down. The back should not be arching. If you're feeling the back arch, try to think length, not height. Good. Otherwise, to make it harder, you can go higher, but again, without arching through the lower back. Good. Really think length through this exercise, not height. Good. Exhale to extend. Now the T-zone is working hard to stabilize those hips. Keep the rib to hip connection. Keep the T-zone tight to keep the hips nice and square. You don't want the hips to be rocking all over the place. Exhale to extend. Inhale to lower. Really good. We are nearly done today. A few more exercises and stretches and we are done. Good. Remember to keep the weight back through the knee. Shoulders pulling back and down. We have one to go. Keep lifting the spine. Lift the spine to meet the shoulder blades. Beautiful work. Well done. All right, just walking the hands out in front, stepping back into your high plank position. And we are going to just walk it back. So bending the knees slightly if you need, piking your hips up. You're going to walk those hands back and do the reverse Pilates roll down. You can hang here for a moment. And then T-zone is tight, tucking the tailbone under and rounding the spine one vertebra at a time to roll yourself up into your tall standing position. Well done. Okay, we just got a few squats to finish. So feet are going to be hip width distance apart or slightly wider, knees in the same direction as your toes. We're going to send your bottom back, inhale, and then exhale, squeeze your bottom to come up, back to that starting position. Now you really want to keep that neutral spine, so only go as deep as you can, maintaining the neutral spine. You don't want to be arching your back or rounding and tucking the bum under. Inhale to squat down, pushing through the heels, center of gravity back. Exhale to come up. Most of the weight should be coming through the heels, not your toes. Good. We don't have many. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. 3 to go. 2. And you know what we're doing. We're going to hold this one down. Good. Squeezing your glutes. Keep the knees in line with the toes. Try not to dump into the toes. Keep the weight back through the heels. Neutral spine, ribs to hips, shoulders pulling back and down. We have 3, 2. Squeeze your bump and come on up. Well done. You are done for today. We are just winding it down with some stretches. So we're just going to do some squats and circles. So tiny little squats. Inhale and circle those arms up. Exhale, let it go. Little squat and circle those arms. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Well done. We are coming down onto the mat to do a hip flexor stretch. So one knee underneath you, the other in front. We're going to keep those hips nice and square, T-zone tight. Tuck the tailbone under. Slightly lunge forward. The arm of the back leg can come up. Stretching down the front of the leg. Just remember tucking the tailbone and keeping the ribs to hips so you're not arching the back and avoiding the stretch. Beautiful. I hope you loved today's workout as much as I did. What a beautiful location here on the Greek islands. I hope you absolutely loved it. All right, swapping sides, tucking the tailbone under, arm comes up, really lengthen, and then we're going to lunge forward. Good. Shoulders relaxing, back and down. Excellent. All right, we are doing your cat-cow, so hands come under your shoulders, knees under your hips. Nice neutral spine. Inhale, T-zone, exhale, curve the body up, rounding the spine like a cat, stretching in the morning. Inhale to lower slightly, eyes come to the front of the mat. Don't dump through your lower back. Keep the rib to hip connection. Exhale to round. Inhale to come back to that neutral spine. Eyes to the front of the mat, shoulders pulling back and down. One more. Exhale to round. Inhale to reverse. Fabulous work. We have one more exercise, and that is your glute stretch, your pigeon stretch. If this irritates your body at all, you can do it laying on your back like we did in the warm-up. Otherwise, you're crossing that front leg across your mat, trying to get the shin across your mat as much as possible, trying to keep the hip to the ground. Now, I know I'm very tight through this area, so my hip is up. You can also put a cushion under your hip to support it. Really lengthening through that back leg nice and long. Shoulders are pulling back and down. T-zone is tight, and keep that back in neutral so you're not arching. Now, this might be enough for you. Otherwise, you may want to come down on the elbows. Really good. Shoulders relaxing back and down. Keep that spine in neutral. Hips nice and square. Excellent. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale. See if you can stretch into it a little bit more. Now, you may also want to rest your head onto your hands if that's available for you. No problems. Just remember you should feel no discomfort through the knees or hips. Good. Now we carry a lot of tension through the hips. So if you want to stay here for longer, no problems. Take the time. But if you're coming with me, coming up on those hands, and let's swap sides. Good. Crossing that leg across, lengthening through the back leg. Shoulders pulling back and down, chin tucked in. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, see if you can stretch into it a little bit more. Good. If your elbows are available for you, please come down onto them, or even the forehead. Now is the perfect time to set an intention for the rest of your day. While you're feeling great, amazing, the endorphins are pumping. It's a perfect time to set an intention. Inhale, T-zone. Exhale, let it go. Lovely work. You're welcome to stay longer. Otherwise, come on up. Well done today. I hope you loved today's Pilates Mat Pilates workout as much as I did. Have a great day, guys, and I'll see you next time. And remember to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye for now.